Hello everybody and welcome to BrickVault. Today in front of us is the LEGO Statue of Liberty set from the architecture line. Recently LEGO has sent us or allowed us to ask for a variety of different sets, so we got quite a few from 2019 and this was one of them. So thank you LEGO for sending this set over to us to do a review. This is set number 21042, 1,685 pieces and sells for $120 in the States. That's 90 pounds in the UK and 100 euro. It is still currently on sale. So anyways, there's the basic logistics of this set. It's a pretty interesting one. Not the first time or second time, or if you count poly bags and other little sets, the third or fourth time that LEGO has made the Statue of Liberty. I'm going to be getting into its features, kind of just talking about the fun design aspects of this model. And I'm also going to be showing you guys the ever popular modification from JK Brickworks on the face. All right, first off, let's get a general impression of the size of this model. It's decently large. Pretty much the same size as when you saw it back in the year 2000 from the larger city skyline set, even though the details are obviously much different now. There's a lot more curved, sloping pieces. It really gives you an indication, especially from this farther away shot, of these kind of slanted and folding robes that you have for the actual statue. And then the structure itself, there's all kinds of detail put in here. A little bit of that can hurt your fingers for sure when putting it together. Kind of reminds me of how some of the details came together for the Big Ben set from a few years earlier. But yeah, there's some fun pieces in here. There's a little bit of a hinge coming in here to make the foot coming back, but for the most part, yeah, you can also see there's a hinge here for the arm, and not a hinge for the hand, but just kind of a fun way those tiles clasp around. There's not too many angles though altogether when it comes to the statue itself. Actually, let's see, 1, 2, 3, one for the foot, 4. I think that's it. Maybe just 4, maybe 5, maybe I'm missing one. 5 just slightly offset angles, whether they're hinges or bricks that are studded in a slightly different way. So yeah, it's pretty much everything stacked on top of each other. There's a few different stud orientations around here, lots of different inverted 2x2 round plates or tiles. I can't remember how it's classified, but yeah, just a nice diversity of pieces. Pretty much everything on the outside here is tan or sand green, and then there's a variety of a few different other colors on the inside, but once again, not too exciting in terms of color variation for this set. All right, now taking a closer look at the front, we have this nice golden hairpiece that makes up the actual flame of the torch, which is nice. I really do enjoy the building technique for this crown, or for whatever exactly she's wearing here. We have these unicorn pieces, these sort of unicorn horns made in the sand green, which is fun. A few pieces here are actually exclusively made or first time molds in sand green, which is nice. I really do think this is an excellent color, so it's nice to have not just new pieces molded, but also pieces, multiple pieces, these slanted 1x2 slopes, for example. There's just so many in this set, and that's really encouraging, because those are great for doing finer detail work, as you can see, because this is a much more finely detailed model. Let's move down a little bit so you can get a little bit more of an indication of what these robes look like up close. Nice details. I mean, through and through. The only thing that kind of drags me a little bit is that there's a lot of these vertical lines that end up getting established, which I don't think visually is something that you associate quite as much. I know they kind of drape a little bit in the, well, not a little bit. They do drape down the clothes, or at least the mold for the clothes on the actual statue drape downwards, but it feels a little bit strong here in this model. That's the only thing I can think of really as a design flaw, or as a design thing that kind of grabs my eye, maybe unintentionally so, for this model. But through and through, this is a very strong piece. Now we are looking at the main base, this is a part of the statue that I think a lot of people overlook. Naturally, they would overlook. The first time Lego actually made the Statue of Liberty, it was a very large, sort of standard brick sculpture type build, and they didn't include any of this stand underneath it, just because that's not what people generally think of. Though, when it's included now, it actually makes a lot of sense. It also, I think, really elevates, haha, pun not intended, elevates the model quite well. Visually, it looks really nice. You have these kinds of gaps in here. I haven't actually visited the Statue of Liberty. I've gone by it on the boat, but I've never actually been to the island itself. Really nice though, yeah. All kinds of fun alternating details. I suppose that's a good way to put it. These bits alternate back and forth. You have sort of a checkerboarded pattern almost. We have a lot of panel and bricks alternating on this side. And yeah, it ultimately just looks good. I think this was a good choice for them to really enhance the details of a part of the statue that I think a lot of people don't find quite as interesting, or maybe even know about quite as well. Now, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, actually before I take it off, I mentioned that I'm going to change the face around for the statue, and JK Brickworks, excellent builder, Jason, he did something that I think a lot of people kind of agree is the standard modification a lot of people put onto this model. And before I do it, I just want to sort of point out the most detailed part of any figure statue is always the face. There's always a lot more intricate pieces there, and I think the main design team said, okay, in order to keep the look consistent, there's no real way to get a lot of intricate details in on the face, so let's make it a single, flat, solid piece, which is a common design choice, and I don't think it was a bad approach. You can see the chin here is kind of indicated by the curve, or the point, I should say, of the shield piece. But that's it. There's no other indication. It's perfectly flat, I should say, and the look is consistent. At least stylistically, that was their choice. And you can, there we go. Actually, you're supposed to break off this other piece as well. Let me just lift that up. There we go. There we go. You're supposed to take off the 2 pieces here. And there's the modification. No. Then you're going to add Jason's alternate design, which I think looks much better. So here we go. This kind of keeps everything in place. There's a lot of cheese wedge pieces that are included on this piece. Not a lot of jumpers, which is interesting. He does have 2 jumpers in there, which means, especially when you zoom up, here we go. Hopefully it catches some of the light here. There we go. So now you have an indication of a little bit of the mouth and chin coming forward, obviously the nose, and the brows for the eyes. So there is a lot more detail, and what I like is that because these pieces are on jumpers, there's a half stud over. That means this little space, it's just a little bit more condensed. It means compared to the rest of the body, how everything is 1 stud away, the details are a little bit wider, a little bit more expanded. These ones are compacted a little bit more, which is appropriate for detailing on the face. So it just gives off, I think, just a better suggestion. The only thing you're sacrificing is the little pointed bit for the chin, and I'm happy to sacrifice that in order to get indications for the eyes, nose, and mouth, because, you know, I just think it looks a lot better. So Jason made this alteration. He made a video about it. This is going to be the final way we display the Statue of Liberty here in the studio. It just looks better. I think it does. And yeah, so that is the change up. Let me give you my final thoughts. So looks wise, detail wise, I think the Statue of Liberty is a very, very solid architecture set. This is something that's going to look excellent on display, and that is the primary reason why we wanted to get it. It's just going to be a cool piece to have up on the shelf next to a lot of the other Lego models. So that's sort of our main motivation. In terms of price point, part to price ratio, it makes sense. You get a lot of pieces for, I mean, it's decent. There's a lot of small pieces. I'm sure Lego probably did a decent calculation. $120 for 1,685, nearly 1,700 pieces is a good part to price ratio, though most of these pieces are small, and they're also kind of specialized. You get a lot of tan, a lot of sand green, some basic parts in a few variety colors on the inside, but nothing super out there. So I think part-wise, you're going to get some interesting parts, but it's not something that I think people are going to be super motivated by. And then in terms of collectability, a set like this, an iconic statue piece like this, once it goes off the regular market, will most likely become collectible in the future. So for people that get this set and then just kind of hold on to it or keep it in the box for quite a long time, or just hold on to the box, build it, part it down, probably will have a decent resale value on it within the next 5 years, or who knows how long. But it does have the potential of becoming a collectible set, which is not always the case for Lego sets in general. So anyways, those are my thoughts on the statue. Thanks a lot, Lego, by the way, for sending this set over to us again to do a review. There's going to be a couple more of these set reviews in the upcoming days and week. Just so you guys know, we basically made a bunch of requests for sets that we wanted, and Lego was kind enough to send them on over. So this is the first one of a round of new set reviews coming down the way. So anyways, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. If you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.